Hey y'all, so let me tell you how we got our dog Christmas from New York to London to Paris and back to New York. First of all, Christmas is a trained and registered service dog. He's been traveling with us on the airplane since he was about 9 months old, and he's currently 4 years old. If you want to learn more about that training and how we went about that process, just comment below and I'll do a separate video. For this purpose, we're just going to focus on this trip that we took overseas. So most airlines will have a form separately for their specific airline that you fill out. We flew Virgin Atlantic and they had what's called a DOT form. DOT simply stands for Department of Transportation for Service Animal. And as you can see, you just fill out all of the information needed, which you should already know and have. Secondly, to go to UK specifically, you need what's called a AHC, which is an Animal Health Certificate. What you do is you go to your vet about 10 days before you travel, and they're going to make sure your dog is in good health and ready to fly. 5 days before that, before travel date, you would go for what's called a deworming. And UK is very specific that it needs to be 5 days, including your actual travel day. So be careful about that. Once you have all of that information, you're good to go. I recommend reaching out to your airline prior to, just to make sure you get a confirmation email. Once you get to the airport, it's smooth sailing. And as you can see, Christmas is very happy to travel with us. He's done it many times. I also recommend that you request bulkhead seating. Christmas is about an 80-pound dog, and so he will sit right beside me, right underneath my seat. And he'll kind of snuggle up and he'll be as tight as a ball. But just for his comfort, your comfort, the bulkhead seating is preferred. Now from London to Paris, it's the same type of process. We traveled Eurostar. Eurostar is the most traveled from London to Paris. It's a train. It's very easy. They, again, have their own separate forms. As you see, same process. Most likely, they're going to reach out to the training facility. They want to make sure that your dog is indeed a service dog with a certificate, with a letter. So having all of that information and making sure that you're up to date with everything is required. Again, I recommend getting extra seating, whether it be business class or premium. All of that is needed just with traveling with a dog, just so that you can have your own space, they can have their space, and also the passengers are comfortable. First stop in Paris is always Eiffel Tower, and we saw some sights. We also went to Disney Paris, which share a little bit about Disney Paris, which was really cool. Christmas stayed with us most of the time, but Disney Paris does have a separate boarding facility for your dog. So if you want, you can kind of let them relax a little bit, take off in a cool air-conditioned area with water and food and treats and anything like that. And you can pick them up whenever you'd like. Lastly, to come back to America from the UK, you will need to visit a veterinarian to make sure, again, your dog is in good health to fly. Coming back is not as strategic with time as it is going. I went again just right before we came back home, but you don't have to go within that 10 days. You just need to have a letter on their letterhead from the vet saying they were checked out, your dog is in good health. They don't need to be dewormed. They don't need to have any sort of medication, just that letterhead, and that's really it. We didn't present it to anybody, but we had it as a just in case the airline needed something to say he was reviewed and checked out by the vet. I hope you enjoyed this brief description about how to travel with your dog overseas. If you have any questions or comments, please do comment below, subscribe, and let me know. As you can see, Christmas is a huge part of our family, so we take him everywhere. We started taking him to Chicago with us for our anniversary, and then he flew with us to San Francisco and LA, and this was actually our first trip overseas, and it went as smoothly as smooth can be. So thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.